This is episode 2. So I had promised that I'll be doing 100-day challenge on a guidance on how to grow your YouTube audience. So as I had stated, this will be a 100-day challenge, and today marks the day 2 of this challenge. So I'll be guiding you through the do's and don'ts for growing a YouTube audience. And in the first episode, I introduced how this series will be crafted. So it will be a live series. So I'll be going live regularly. And in today's episode, which is day 2, I'll be focusing on the topic of how to start a YouTube channel and the things you need to know before starting. So first, let's get started. So when you're starting a YouTube channel, you must know few things. So first, you must identify a niche. So a niche is an area. So if someone was to ask you what your content is about, which one word would you give to explain? So if you're doing content around dancing, then if someone asks you what is your niche should be dance. That one word which can describe what you do or summarize the content you do. So if you are doing content about cooking, that would be a niche on itself. And there are several niches that you can choose from. And I'll be making a more detailed video on this various niche and niche relevance, and how to go about selecting a niche for your YouTube channel. But basically, what you need to know is that the niche you choose must be something you love, must be something you will be ready to always have content on it, because YouTube works on the basis of how much content you are able to push consistently. So, and when you're choosing a niche, you choose a niche based on two things. So there are those who choose a mixed content niche, and there's those who choose a specific content niche. So what do I mean by this? So assuming you are doing a niche that is entertainment without specifying which niche that is, then that would be just a general niche because you can mix the content. But there are those who choose a niche that is, let's say you do just cooking, so that's a specific niche, so you don't mix any other thing. So you must decide whether do you want a niche that is a mixed content niche, or do you want a specific content niche. Now if you choose a mixed content niche, of course the advantages is that you are trying to target an audience, a general audience. So you don't have, your audience will be larger because general content usually goes viral more than specific content. But then you may also need to consider that in terms of if if you want, because now a niche will be, there are those who want to do a niche to monetize, there are those who want to do a niche for branding, there are those who want to do a niche just for self-fulfillment, that is educating awareness, creating awareness in the society. So there are various niches you can choose from, and now that goes down to why are you choosing that niche. Okay, so but the basic thing is that you must always choose a niche that you love, because there will always be ups and downs. I can tell you that it will never always be that you are getting views on YouTube, and it has never been the case. Even for large content creators, there will be times you push a video but it does not go viral. So what is that niche that will propel you to continue doing even when you get no views? So if you are doing a niche that you love, you'll be driven by the passion, not just the views, because the views are just one aspect of success in YouTube. And I'll be talking about what success really is in YouTube, and how do you get to say that now you're successful. So that I'll be doing a more detailed video, but a key take home is that there are just two main things that you need to ensure in your niche, and that is views, and number two is audience. Now, how do you get views and how do you get audience? So one must come after the other. Now, you must understand one thing, that with YouTube, if you get audience and you have views, you are creating something bigger. And what you are creating is a brand. Now, a brand will open your doors. So if you are doing content for monetizing, the brand will bringing the commercials to bringing the money. If you are doing if you want to create a brand to maybe for visibility, so maybe you have a company, maybe you sell something, so the brand will give you the ability to create merchandise. So but for you to create the brand, you need audience and you need views. Now in future episodes I'll be doing on how do you get views and how do you get the audience, but one must come before the other. So the views starts, then the views will create the audience. Now when you have the audience, you mix audience and viewership, you'll get a brand. So that brand is what you can sell. That brand is what will give you partnership. That brand is what will get you known. And sometimes the brand may not basically be giving you money at that time. You may be having an audience with views, but it doesn't give you money, but it is giving you visibility. So necessarily a brand is that which you want to be associated with, but that narrows down to 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 audience and views. Now for you to get views, it's basic, you must first go viral. And I'll also be doing future videos on how to go viral. Now after identifying your niche, the other thing you need to do is to identify your audience. So you must know for that niche that you have created, who is your audience. You need to understand what do these people like, what is the daily lives of these people. So that audience, what is the age that you are targeting? So where are these people? What do these people want? That is an audience, because the audience are like your clients. So when you are starting, you must, after you have identified a niche, remember we have said that in step one you identify a niche, in step two you identify an audience. So an audience will help you plan, because if you say you are choosing a niche like, let's say, cooking, you must know, am I targeting 18 to 35? Am I targeting 35 to 60 years? Am I targeting an audience in Kenya or in United States or in South Africa or in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Australia? So who are you targeting? So that when you're creating your content, you'll be creating a content that is on that niche, on that audience. So that is step number 2 when you're starting on how to start a YouTube channel. Now once you have identified your audience, now you need to have a plan, because actually without a plan, well, you'll be creating content but you can't like have a measure of is it working. So you need to have a plan. So how will the plan be like? So I'll be making a more detailed video on how to create a YouTube plan, the plan I used. So currently I'm at 166k subs and 48 million views. So I'll be sharing what I've learned, what I think I should have known before I started. So, guys, this to be exciting. So, when you're creating the plan, you need to focus on two things, and that is, do you want a simple plan or do you want a complex plan? So, when you're starting, you want a simple plan. So you are not looking like, you are not like analyzing how many views you have. You are not so in if you are starting, the plan you should have is that, what do you want to achieve? So that is the plan you should have. And the plan should also have, what do you target? Because if you are saying you are doing a dance, so how much viewership do you want from that dance in every week, in every day? How much videos will you be pushing every day? So that is a target. You must have a plan. And if you're doing, let's say, on finance niche, so uh, you're doing content on finance, you need to understand what is the goal and what are the target. If your goal is to ensure that your audience is able to be informed, then that plan must be towards that goal. So you must be able to not to come up with that plan. And once you come up with the plan, you just execute the plan. And number 4 is to now create the content. So creating the content is not a one-day thing. So how you create content is that the main aim of content is for it to go viral. So if you are able to create content that goes viral, then you'll be successful, because viewership leads to audience, and audience plus viewership will give you a brand. And as I've said, a brand will give you visibility, it will give you partnership. A brand will give you money in terms of how much companies are willing to pay for that brand that you have created. And shall I say that the brand is the most important aspect of every content creator. So you are creating a brand. So how do people know you for? If they hear or see your channel, what comes to their mind? So that's the brand you are creating. And I said, creating content is part of creating the brand. So that is actually what you should consider. And those four things, that is on how to start. Now, once you start creating a content, of course, you must have a YouTube account, YouTube channel. Then you must know what you can post on YouTube. So YouTube is it's very it has policies, it has rules. So I'll be doing a separate video in my future episode on what you need to know, because I feel like people don't like have a clear understanding of. So initially, even for me when I was starting, I thought that you can post any video, but unfortunately you can't. So there are videos you can't. There are videos you'll post thinking they are good, but they are not good. There are videos you'll post and they'll hurt your channel. So I'll be doing this series. So this was episode 2, and we're almost at the tail end. So in episode 3, I'll be just doing a dive into what I think I wish I knew when I was starting, and what you should know when starting, what you should do, what you should be looking for, and how the journey shall be like. So thank you for joining. That was episode 2, day 2 of this 100-day challenge of growing a YouTube audience. So if you feel that this is helpful, let me know in the comments. Also bring in your suggestions, and let's meet for episode 3. Thank you.